and welcome back to Mrs. Jane B's World, the ups and downs of ADHD. So last time in my video, we talked about having honest conversations about ADHD. So today, naatay bisita, a fellow mom who is an artist, at the same time a marketing practitioner, and a mommy to a 9-year-old boy with ADHD. Let us welcome to Mrs. Jane B's World, Beverly Morales Tan. Hi Bev! How are you? Kumusta? What's keeping you busy?
I'm okay, thank you. What's keeping me busy? I have a job, so that's keeping me busy right now, keeping me sane.
So, how old is your son now, Bev? How did you find out?
My son is now 9 years old, and how I found out is that he was diagnosed with ADHD when he was 7 years old. I think it was 7 years old, just months before his birthday. So that's when I found out. But let's go back to when he was 1 year old, because he had an early diagnosis. Well, if you will ask why I had him diagnosed early, it's because he was 1 year and a half, particularly 1 year and 6 months. I realized there's something off sa iyang behavior, sa iyang development. And you see, the red flag is this: kuan man gud siya. Di ba when a kid turns 1 year old, 1 year and a half, tabian naman yun kaya na. They really like to talk. They have a few words already, and they're although magkayuring, they don't have a proper pronunciation. At least they really try. They're very sociable. That's a normal kid, but with my son, he was different. He couldn't even pronounce mama, papa at that time. And also, the way he's playing is not a really kind of social, how do you say this? Diba when kids are playing with other kids, they really like to go social. They play together. They like somebody to play with. But my son is different. He likes to play alone. And with his toys, instead of playing it like, for example, you're going to give him some toys like like mga truck and toy cars na siya inana. But instead of playing it like iyang padagan-daganon, he likes to line them up into a line. Where siya himo niyang train. So mo na siya. So that's what I was what was really concerning what's really concerning is that he's not talking like a normal 1-year-old kid. So we decided that let's have him checked, because anyways may mawagtang if unsa gani, diba? If we're wrong, then that's great, diba? So yeah, that's why we asked around. We asked our pedia who we can go to, and so we went to the first doctor. He's diagnosed with global developmental delay, or GDD. Okay. So that's the first doctor that we went to, and then we are not satisfied. We went to another doctor, second opinion, pag yun. Just to make sure, basin yung sayok ba? You know what I mean? Just to make sure. So yeah, we went there, and still the same diagnosis. And then we even went further. We went to another doctor, the third one, and still. Basically, amo ginagiadto tanan doctor that we know that in Cebu who can do who can give us a diagnosis. So all three of them had the same diagnosis for my son. Global developmental delay at age 2 years old. So at age 2, he already started his therapy. So along the way, 2 years old, so he had OT, occupational therapy. He also had what you call this, behavioral therapy, kana siya, speech therapy also, until sige every year we went to the doctor, we go back to the doctor every 6 months, every year, to get the proper diagnosis and see if how he's progressing with his therapy. So at age 7, he's diagnosed with ADHD.
So, 3 doctors, good, Bev?
Yes.
Wow. So,
We're not satisfied man good sa usa ka doctor. So we were told na he's a boy, and he's a boy, and they said that well, lucky man na, dugay na mo istorya niya, kana dugay gyud nag-development ay nag-compare sa babae nga kusog mapaspas kayo ang development sa bata. So, but okay, we that's possible, but it's for me it's something different. Nagi siya off. So yeah,
nakita ka.
Yeah. So ako gyud to amo gyud to tulo ka doctor. Tulo ka doctor. We went to them.
That was very brave. Kay I would like to believe nga ang uban ani mahadlok bitaw. They don't want it. They don't want to know. So when you found out, how was it? Pag-ingon nga GDD, GDD man to first. How was it?
I don't understand what was global developmental delay, to be honest.
All these mga acronyms, no?
Yes, I mean, what? Kay, diba, ang ato namang hinahibawan is directly autism, ang uban, autism, actually, that's very
usual.
Usual. So, I was like, what's na GDD? It was like that. So, I did not understand it first, and I made research, so basically later on I understood. Pero kind of feeling gani, if you're going to ask me, or maybe you're trying to ask kanang unsay feeling nimo kung kaning pagsulti nga ani mo anak?
Yes. How was it?
This your child is like this and like that. It was very difficult. I mean, you cannot. I mean, diba, you're a parent, and then you're a parent, and then you want the best for your kid, and then it just seems so unreal in a way na sultian ka nga this is what's happening to your son's brain. So it was very overwhelming, emotional, difficult, but at the same time I'm relieved. You know why? Because
why were you relieved?
Because I finally found out that I was right all along, and that I can help my son at an early stage. Because if I didn't know, I don't know kung na late to siya diagnosis, and I've been in denial for quite some time. I don't know if he will still be him right now, because he's just like people will just say he looks like a normal kid and stuff like that. But I don't know. I cannot assure na siya if I did not have that early diagnosis. And yes, if you will say I'm brave, because I went to 3 doctors, went through that.
3 doctors, good, grabe.
Yes, just so nga kanang maklaro ginaman that we're very sure of his diagnosis. So we did that. Bahala na. Anyways, he's my son. He's our son. He's our child. We'll still love him anyway, no matter what. And this one, the early diagnosis and the early therapy, the early help he got, that means that it just shows how we love him, right?
What's your daily struggle, your top struggle karon? Caring
now?
For, yes, now caring for your son who's already 9.
Now, we don't really struggle right now, kayo. He's big enough na, and I think the years of therapy has paid off.
Yes, they're not cheap.
Yes.
No, not cheap at all.
Not cheap, and it's financially it was difficult, and it was quite challenging also when it comes to emotional and physical. The struggle that you have to, the time that you have to set aside, the sacrifices that I had to set aside. Jane,
Yes, all the sacrifices that we have to go through. So it was worth it, Bev.
It was worth it. I see his progress, and karon kay we will see him changing every day, and you will see him growing up, and ma-amaze lang because considering that he had what he had to go through, what we have to go through, inana na siya. I mean, just like a regular kid, but still quirky, and there are sort of times that something different sa iyaha, but yeah,
And he goes to school now, right?
he goes to school. Homeschooling, of course, because of COVID. But yeah, he's doing well. He have a tutor, so the tutor is what I have, and the nanny, and so far we're okay. Yeah, the struggle right now is just that for me, particularly lang just being nitpicky. Ang struggle lang yun nako niya karon is organizing himself. There is this what you call, I don't know if this is what you call executive function.
Yes.
Time organization,
Yes.
things organization. Kaya siya, he's having difficulty with that. So it's quite challenging for him to. It's quite challenging for us to make him understand that in time like this, you do this, and then what's next, then time, and siya. Yeah, that's where we're difficult. So it's time for you to stop swimming now. You need to get out. It's somebody needs to use the pool. So di siya pwede na. I mean, he still have. It's not like di na pwede, but he still struggle with ganang regulating his emotions when it comes to something inana gani. So I guess, and then his things magsigkawagtang, like supposedly I keep it like his study table. This is where his pencil should be, his paper should be, and then in the end of the lesson, in the end of the day, his pencil is somewhere there, his paper is somewhere there.
Organization,
din siya. So executive function is
Organization.
and including with that is decision making also. I don't know, maybe at 9 years old, di pa siguro. I don't know, even regular kids, but still, makabantay siya ko nga he's having difficulty kanang magkuan siya, kanang decide on things. So, one practice for us is that you change your clothes. Kabahala dahil. You go ahead. You choose your own clothes.
You're 9.
You're 9. You're what? You choose your own clothes. Magawas ka diha nga di magkadimao ang t-shirt ka ng dili. Matikit ang combination. Ang bahala ka diha. Imuha diha. Just to push him and be independent. That's all. That's my struggle right now. But the struggle before.
How was it? The before.
The before. I don't want to cry.
Yes, when they're younger, the struggle is harder.
It was really hard. Diba I had an early diagnosis, no? So 2 years old, I was working for a company. I really love that job, by the way. I really have to give up on it.
The sacrifices that you have
Yes,
to do.
I have to give up so I can have full focus niya. I have to give up other things also, like for myself, because I have to set time for him, drive to therapy. I'm just very lucky, that we're able to afford therapy.
Yes.
I'm just very lucky to have that we're in that situation. Pero yeah. I have to drive him for therapy, and then the tantrums that I have to I have to deal with every now and then. Kaya mag-tantrums man siya because he cannot speak. He is not able to regulate his emotions because he cannot speak. He cannot express what he wants to say, what he wants to. So instead of saying, "Mama, I don't want that milk," he will throw the milk. He will start crying and tantrums because he's not able to say it. So that's the struggle that I have to take. People will have kind of, especially on a social in a social environment, like say we're eating at a restaurant or something, and then people look, and I know how they judge. That they judge that I'm a mom who don't know how to discipline my son and stuff like that. So I don't care. I know my struggles. They don't know me. Or ana na lang sa gani akong situation.
Ana na lang yun.
Ana na lang yun, or else I will break down. But yeah, that's how it was. It was quite difficult when it comes to financially because therapy doesn't come cheap. It was quite difficult personally because I have to give up my career, my job. I never really imagined myself as a housewife, but I have no choice. Do I have a choice? Ibili na ko giyaya. What can she do? Right? So I have to give up on that. I have to focus on my son. I have to learn patience the hard way.
Patience.
That is, but bisag karon Jane, I still break down sometime and I walk out.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's very typical if you have even normal mothers, like if you have a normal kid. I mean, normal mothers, if we'll just call them that, with normal kids.
Unlike us.
Yes. Okay, right. They still have that struggle. Pero I think in not being koan ba, I think mas grabe gyud ta. Mas grabe gyud ka na kay special na child. The patience that you have should be taas jud kayo. It should be infinite. To the point na kanang, yeah, you really, I just really, sometimes I walk out. Not sometimes, most of the time, I walk out.
Just walk away.
I just walk away. Kuan na lang siya ko. I just shut up, and sometimes I really still can't control myself. And
we're only humans, but
makasyagit na jud ka, ana gani.
We're only humans.
Yeah, it was physically and mentally kanang tiring. Kapoy gid siya. So yeah, that's the struggle we went through all these years. But actually, it was even in school, the girls were struggling in school. Okay, gosh, you have no idea how difficult it is to find teachers who can understand your child.
yes.
There are many schools who just take your kid just because they want students, pero in the end, they don't know how to deal with their child. And there is only one school, no, actually two, but the other school is, I think it was not a school for him. Kay kuan man siya, normal man siya na school, kanang typical na school ba. With a Montessori school, he really thrived. I mean, he was doing well in a Montessori school. The teachers are more understanding and more patient towards him, and I can see that he was progressing really well in that school. So yeah, that's why I would recommend Montessori school if you have kids with ADHD or autism. Okay, mas maayo yun sila na they can handle them, especially a school with a SPED. SPED, kind of special education teachers.
To really look into their needs.
Yes, exactly.
So Bev, what can you advise moms who are lost right now, naapa sa stage katong imuhang stage nga just found out? How can we help them, Bev? What na by words of wisdom na we can give them, or some advice? No,
What advice?
What can you give
first thing that you need to do, my first advice is give it some time. Take it in. You know, it's not an easy news. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult news. No matter what, bisag i-downplay pa nas mga tao. You can, as being a parent, you know, you cannot really help but feel disappointed. Na mga inanang mga feelings. So take time, take it in, and when you're ready, and eventually you will be able to accept it. Then push lang. You're a very strong person. There's a reason why God gave you this challenge. There's a reason why you are a parent for a child like this, for a special soul like this. So find out that motivation, the motivation for you to still be that parent. I don't wanna cry, Jane. You're making me cry. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah,
We're doing this for the moms, Bev. So this is the reason why. Because we know how they feel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure.
Oh, okay. So yes, and one very important thing that I think that this will sound so snobbish or kanang, how should I say this, kanang grabihan mo Beverly, Reyna na juga, pero sa tinod-anay lang, to be honest with you, it's better to be accepting. This is reality, and don't be in denial. You know, because if you do that, there will be some opportunities that you will miss out. So yeah.
Don't be in denial. Very good. Beverly, daghang salamat. Daghang salamat for sharing your journey with us. Salamat for also being honest, for really sharing how you feel. Because I'm sure a lot of moms are feeling the same way. And thank you. Thank you for reminding us that things will go well. You know, and I hope I can invite you again next time for other topics here at Mrs. Jane B's World. Again, Beverly, daghang salamat. So, what can we take from Beverly sharing? I think first is, let's not forget, these are our kids. We love them very, very much. Second, she was very emphatic, insist niya. No, I mean, towards the end, she said, not to be in denial. I mean, it takes time for things to sink in, but let us not be in denial. So that in the end, we will be ready to help our kids. And lastly, I think initially she struggled with it. But eventually with acceptance comes already that feeling of wanting to help the child, which is very good. And I think that's the positive way of looking at it. So, not to be in denial, we accept it, and we move forward. So again, thank you so much for joining us here at Mrs. Jane B's World. Coming up would be discussions on mommy guilt and some self-care techniques that we can use. So we hope you can join us next time. And again, thank you and have a great day.